Cooking is one of the things that takes up a lot of time from homemakers, from caregivers, from moms, wives. It takes up a lot of time and energy. And I came to realize at one point, like from the early days of me making a family, from when I just got married, it was so difficult. I used to cook after every 2 days, and the day that I had to cook felt very stressful for me. Like I didn't like it, I didn't look forward to it. Like on the day that I was not cooking, I would be so relaxed and just happy to know that there's food in the pot. I would just be relaxed. I didn't like the process of constantly having to touch garlic, ginger, onions, and having all the smell on my fingers and all of that. I didn't like it. So at one point I got to realize that there's something that they call batch cooking. But before I talk about batch cooking, let's talk about bulk shopping. Now that the economy is, I'm showing you guys what I'm using to clean my kanda. That's cow skin if you are not a Cameroonian. We call it kanda here, and I'm just washing it to ensure that it's very clean before I use it to cook. So what we do is that my husband always goes to the slaughterhouse. He buys kanda, he buys meat, and then he buys crayfish, not from the slaughterhouse, from down beach here in Limbe. You can get crayfish at a really good price. So he buys it and then we prep it ahead. So bulk buying, what it does is that it helps you to cut cost, given that things are constantly becoming more expensive by the day. So most times when we buy kanda, you guys will see when I'm done washing it. When I wash it, what I do is that you guys, I'm laughing because I realize that I use so many things to wash this kanda in this video. I use the scraper that I use for my carrots. I use a knife. I use a brand new iron sponge because I like my kanda to be clean. Okay. So what I've done here is that after washing, I just cut it in portions of 500 each, and then I tie in wrappons so that when I want to cook, I just pull out a wrapon. Now the good news is that when you buy your kanda like this, we bought for 5,000, and when I tied it, I realized that we had an extra of kanda for 2,500, which means that we got kanda for a total of 7,500, but we paid 5,000. So when you buy directly from the slaughterhouse and you buy in bulk, it is more cost effective and you gain more as opposed to going to the market every day and buying for 500. So if you can afford to do that, it's very, very good. And then also we bought meat. I think from the meat we got an excess of meat for 1,500, which is not bad. Because after washing, I always ensure that I tie it, because the thing is also when you do bulk buying, you can waste, right? You can start living above your means, or you can start living above what you would normally use if you were buying from the market on a daily basis. So I try to tie it the way they tie in the market for 1,000 francs. So generally in the market you get 11 to 12 pieces of meat for 1,000 francs, and that's exactly what I do. I do that. I wash it very well so that when I want to cook, I am not going again to start taking out the meat from the freezer and start washing it. I know that I washed it well, and I like to do it myself most times because I'm confident that, okay, I have taken my time. Now this is our meat, and it's just going to get into the freezer so that whenever I want to cook, I know that I have meat. I was just counting it at this point to know how much gain we have gotten in this economy of the world, because I think it's everywhere. It's not just in Cameroon, it's not Africa. Prices are just skyrocketing everywhere. You have to be smart about the way you spend on food and other things. So another thing that I've done to make my life in the kitchen easier, and then also to just make my home more functional, more relaxing for me, I batch cook. I have spoken about this so many times on this channel, but I'm not going to stop saying it until I can influence somebody. I know that there are some people who cannot batch cook because maybe they have partners who would not want to eat freezer meals. Some people cannot batch cook for different reasons, and that's understandable. But if that's not a problem for you, then you want to consider batch cooking, especially if you're like me that doesn't like spending time in the kitchen every day. You guys, I made these delicious coconut white beans. The recipe is coming for you guys. Okay, I know the process is not clear here, but I am going to show you guys. I'm going to share with you guys the recipe proper with all the ingredients and all the details. It was so yummy and delicious. My kids loved it. So yeah, let's go back to what we're talking about. You want to consider batch cooking, okay? Batch cooking. And one other thing I've started doing recently is that I don't just batch cook. So I can batch cook on Monday. That's I can cook like, let's say, 4 meals, 3 meals, and then I put them in the freezer. Maybe on the Monday that I'm cooking those meals, we would eat one of them, right, on that same Monday. Now I keep the rest in the freezer. So I could go to the market on a Tuesday and I come across something. I'm like, okay, maybe I see okra and I didn't batch cook okra that week. I see okra and it's looking really good and it's looking fresh. I'm going to be like, okay, maybe we should get some okra. I'm going to get okra and then I would cook it, or maybe just grate it and keep it inside an airtight container in the freezer, so that the day I'm ready to cook okra, I can make it and we eat it and it's going to be fresh. It is not going to feel like it's coming from the freezer because I've locked it in an airtight container. It's going to come out fresh. Okay, so you want to consider also because the thing is, what batch cooking does for me, it takes off the pressure of cooking. I don't like to cook on demand. I don't like to cook because my family has to eat now, and I'm in a haste. I like to cook. I like to be on guard. It's like, okay, I am cooking, but it's not like if I don't cook this food, my family is not going to eat. It gives me more joy when I cook that way as opposed to when I'm cooking under pressure. So let's say I bought okra. I already have okra in the fridge, but that okra, I can decide to say we eat it today. I can decide to say we eat it whenever, because we have different choices. Of course, when I'm cooking those meals, I cook them in the order that I look at the previous week and see what we have not eaten for a while, and then I cook that. And then I also put an order like, okay, this is what we'll eat on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I give myself now the freedom to change. I also listen to my husband, I listen to my children, mostly my husband. He can say, oh babe, I want to eat this. And then I'm going to be like, okay, we have food in the freezer, but we can make some fresh this. So then I'm cooking from a place of, I'm not pressured to cook. You guys get it? So if you are that person that is finding it difficult being in the kitchen morning, afternoon, night, every day you're in the kitchen and you don't like it, you want to consider this method that I've been doing. I highly recommend this method because it's so freeing and there's constantly going to be food in your home. You can decide to make something fresh on any day, and that doesn't even mean that the food that you have in your freezer is not fresh. It is still fresh. And if you also don't know how to make your freezer meals come out fresh, please watch my batch cooking videos. I talk about how I ensure that my meals come out fresh. I don't cook them to the end. If I'm cooking something like ndole, I don't put onions and oil. I get to put my onions and oil on the day we want to eat it, so it comes out fresh. It is fresh. Okay. Anyways, I hope that this video is kind of an encouragement to you so that you can start planning your meals better and stop stressing out in the kitchen and stop feeling like it's so much work and it's so tedious. Okay. Recently, my crayfish got finished, so we had to buy some. And what I do is that I just ensure that I take out any bad, any dead, any sticks. Sometimes you find sticks, you find even stones in your crayfish, and then I put some of it. I put some of it in the blender, and then I blend it. I don't blend it very soft. If I have to cook a meal where I need very soft crayfish, I am just going to blend again. But I blend a lot of it and I store in a container so that every time that I'm cooking, I know that I have crayfish. These are some of the things that you should do to make cooking easy. Cooking is not that complicated. Once you have everything, most times what we do in the kitchen when we say we are cooking is we prep ingredients. The time that the food is actually on the fire, it's not really you doing that work. But because we don't take our time to prep our ingredients, we spend a lot of time in the kitchen. So I just boiled some rice, and this is me blending I discovered a new technique of making groundnut soup on this particular day. I am going to share it with you guys. I already have a recipe, but what made me to go this route with this groundnut soup is because I wanted to finish fast. And so I tried a new method and it worked so well. The groundnut soup ended up really delicious. I didn't fry the fish for this groundnut soup. I made it like it was ginseng sauce. Yes, when mommy buys this thing, you always say you like it also. This is tiger nuts. You always like it now?
Yes, I want.
But I'm going to blend it with carrots and make some juice.
Let's try.
Let's try it.
Let's try. So let's try.
Yeah, let's try it. So we're going to do that together, you guys. So come on.
Yeah, listen.
No, you don't have to stay. The kitchen is so tight. The kitchen is so tight.
Oh, just make space.
You make space. You guys, let's make carrot juice together. I have a lot of things to do here. So let's just be doing and going.
That's right. Everyone, bring a chair and come and sit right here.